This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only.
A Danish newspaper publishes a cartoon portraying the Prophet Mohammad as a terrorist. French President Nicolas Sarkozy calls for a ban on the burqa. An Egyptian immigrant is murdered in a German court by an Islamophobe. Why are Muslims being targeted in Europe? And is Islamophobia the new anti-Semitism? Answers to these questions and more on Link TV's Mosaic Intelligence Report.
Islamophobia has taken a range of forms in Europe, including the more traditional types of socio-economic discrimination and racist attacks historically suffered by other ethnic minorities. In recent years, many high-profile incidents from across Western Europe have exemplified this trend. Here are some examples. The 2005 publication in a Danish newspaper of a cartoon portraying the Prophet Mohammad as a terrorist, leading to riots across the Muslim world. Then you have the online release by Dutch right-wing politician of the movie Fitna, which directly links Islam with terrorism. Then the banning in French schools of the Islamic hijab and the debates which are raging throughout Europe over the right to build mosques. Add to these examples two major new issues I observed on a recent trip I made to France. The first one, the martyr of the hijab, is what Egyptians are now calling Marwa al-sherbini, the 31-year-old veiled Egyptian who was fatally stabbed in court by a German man identified only as Axel W., who had been prosecuted for calling her a terrorist, among other things, while she was playing with her 3-year-old son in a park. When Marwa's body was interned in Cairo, thousands of angry Egyptians attended her wake, some of them chanting, "There is no God but God, and the Germans are the enemies of God." The case has sparked anger in the Arab world and Egypt in particular for its perceived underreporting in the Western media and a belief that the attack described by German authorities as an isolated one perpetrated by a lone wolf is the culmination of consistent nurturing and legitimization of Islamophobia in Europe.
A government that cannot maintain security even for a plaintiff in a courtroom practically loses its legitimacy. Everyone should take action now to prevent such incidents from becoming routine.
Bloggers and commentators have played the what-if game, reversing the race and nationality of the victim and attacker in order to highlight the muted response from Germans and Europeans more generally. The murder of Theo van Gogh by a Muslim extremist in 2004 has been invoked as an example of the unequal value attached to the lives of Muslims and non-Muslims. The second example is the burqa controversy. Marwa's killing has occurred against the backdrop of President Sarkozy's recent comments on the burqa, saying that burqas imprison women and would not be tolerated in France. In a speech at the Palace of Versailles, Mr. Sarkozy said that the head-to-toe Islamic garment for women, the burqa, is not a sign of religion, but rather a sign of subservience.
Since I wore the hijab, everyone has been asking me to take it off. There is no problem or risks in a woman's decision to wear the hijab. It is simply a matter of choice.
Human Rights Watch and several Muslim groups and clerics have criticized the ban and asked Sarkozy to reconsider his statements, citing the proposal stigmatized Islam. Many French Muslims believe that the framing of the wearing of burqas and other body veils under the guise of showing concern for women's rights, Sarkozy has also found a roundabout way of targeting Muslim women and putting them in human rights defendant's seat, engendering another religious debate. The number of French Muslim women who wear the burqa is minuscule, and one would have to go out of his way to visit les banlieues, or Paris's poor suburbs, to spot one or two.
Orthodox Islam and fundamentalist Islam, which have been adopted by politically active Muslims, particularly the young. And these two tendencies definitely aim to make Islam the world religion. In other words, to displace other religions.
Many European Muslims believe that Europe is in the grip of an anti-Islamic bias that is becoming institutionalized in the continent's otherwise ordinary politics. In the UK, a research report published by the Institute of Race Relations argued that Islamophobia is hindering efforts to integrate Muslims into European societies. I'm Jamal Dajani for the Mosaic Intelligence Report. To learn more about this program or to share your thoughts, visit us at linktv.org/MIR. You can also follow my updates on Twitter.
This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only U.S. network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs which connect you to the world.